So to start off, let's have a look at the ball. The ball is a game that I worked on during, I believe, 2009, 2010. Released it October 2010, it was, right? And I worked on it for about 2.5 years, though not full time. We had a team of up to 16, 17 people, though again, not full time. Some people dropped out, other people joined, so kind of hard to put a straight number on it. But it's Unreal Engine 3. It was the first UDK game ever to be made. And it has a lot of quite complex materials that I've set up. So when I quickly step through a couple of those. Here is our browser. It's not that properly organized. It's slightly random, also names and such. Also the materials are not entirely commented, or not at all usually. I was the only person responsible for all the advanced materials, so I didn't really comment anything. But here we, for example, have the same character as we're going to be doing, but the original version of that. So these are kind of the same features as I just discussed. For example, here we have the burning part, electricity over there, and this is general reflection and rim lighting and all those kind of things. This is our bird. We have a big cooked bird, we call him, because he looks quite cooked. That's our bird. Kind of the same setup here, detail normal mapping there. And what this is, we have rim lighting there. And I believe this is probably this is a second layer of rim lighting on top. This is ambient light, I believe. Yes, this is ambient lighting it, etc. This was a non-gameplay character. So there's no electricity, no burning, no dissolving. It's just reflection there, rim lighting there, and detail norm mapping there. The ball is by far the most complex though. The ball actually got so complex, so the ball is the main character, if you want to call it that way. The main character, say, of the game. And the material of that got so stupidly complicated that we had to split it up into multiple materials. And then we would split it in code. We would change the material on the mesh to a second material and then use the functionality of the second material when something happened. So for example, when the ball was being put in oil, the game had to quickly change the material from the default one to the oil one and then continue changing the parameters and such. Because we pretty much ran out of space and we ran out of instructions. This is 245 instructions for this one. This is 192 for this. And then there's a transparent ball as well to deal with, which is 92 instructions. So when the ball got up close, it also had to become transparent, but it still had to have support for burning, for electricity, for all kinds of different things, for oil as well. So it got really complex. But this is a transparent ball that allowed you to look through it, so you could see what's behind the ball, in case you were standing too close. This is a setting up of oil, so a layer of oil would have to fall over the mesh and would then have to start burning. That's that part. This is the electricity effect on top. And then this is the combination of those things and probably also some rim lighting and the general translucent effect that you're looking at. The default material was this. So that's the default material. Again, a detail norm map there. Again, electricity over here. A burning effect over there. We also had a feature that when the ball rolls into lava, it starts to glow from the bottom half up. Kind of similar to how we're burning the monster now. It would look at the position of the lava and then it would start to glow from the bottom up and over the entire ball. And this is general setting up of gold and metal. So the metal has to behave differently from the gold. And this splits up, this is a mask here that splits up the gold from the metal. And then does different things with both. Then we have the oil one that extended that one further. This is the oil one. It's quite messy. Again, I was the only one doing this, so I didn't have to add any comments or any organization for it anyway. Since I build it, I understand how it works. The oil one was particularly complex though. Because you have to blend the oil layer on top, then the layer of oil has to slowly drip off the sphere, it's a ball. So the top becomes clear of oil first and the oil runs down off the surface And then at some point that whole oil layer should start to burn. And then you still have to support other features as well. For example, when you get close to the ball or when you attract the ball, it changes color. When you push it away, it changes color again. You have a lot of those features that all had to be supported in the material. And then you actually also had to make sure the gold actually looked like gold and the metal actually felt differently and more metallic. So here we have the transparent ball. And this is the actual ball itself. This is the weapon. Similar setup. It had colors in its eyes. The eye color had to change depending on the situation. But other than that, the rest of the setup is purely for making the gold feel like gold and the metal like metal and different from the bone structure, etc. So the gold has like a reflection added to it, whereas the bones do not, etc. All of that is happening over here. All of these materials are quite efficiently set up. They're disorganized, but memory-wise they're quite efficient.